Call the meeting to order. Any conflicts, gentlemen?
None.
Guess I should say Tuesday, July 15th, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting. Consider approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes from July 1st. Any changes at all?
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Claims. Guys have a chance to look
Sure,
at them.
all look normal.
Looks good. Motion to approve the claims.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pipeline liaison, Steve. Good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
How goes it today?
Good.
A few updates. We just found out Friday that our in-bank review in front of the full 8th Circuit that we requested, we've received 5 amicus briefs in support of that move. And they are from the state of Minnesota, Michigan, Oregon, Vermont, and the Pipeline Safety Trust. Pipeline Safety Trust was involved. They wrote an amicus brief in support when we initially filed the appeal. And so they're supporting this move as well. That is very good for our support. There's no timeline on when the full 8th Circuit will say yes or no to looking at this. So probably later than sooner, but then, as you well know, the only option after that is going in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. They would have to be willing to go there. We are looking at possible what the cost would be, not say we would do it, just kind of knowing what we'd be up against, and maybe if some other counties that supported the intervention team and or have been sued, same place we're at, that maybe they would be willing to participate if it happens.
And you think ICAP will or will not be, they're not going any further than what they've done, right?
That's a discussion we're going to have.
Okay.
Okay, so I haven't had that discussion yet, and actually, Allers have been they've been dealing with them at each appeal, reaching out to them, is there something you can support, and they have been.
Good.
So, yeah, that would be a major factor. Okay. The judicial review, the 5 cases that are in front of the Iowa Utility Commission, from the counties, from landowners, from Sierra Club to Republican Party. That is, they have until August 8th, which is just around the corner, to get their final briefs in. That's been a slow process. It's been a year and a half in the making, so just want to let you know where that is at. And then the last, it's been very quiet with Summit. As you all know, they can't go through South Dakota. And there's rumors out there that they might be hooking on to the tall grass line that goes through Nebraska to Wyoming, because they have no sequester spot. Without a sequester spot, they don't have a pipeline. Don't know if any of that's true. It's just some rumors out there. But either way, if they don't go through South Dakota and use North Dakota, they're going to have to refile or file an amendment. They just can't go do it.
So South Dakota won't get preempted federally?
That was talk in the big beautiful bill, but it never happened.
Okay.
Not saying some presidential order or something can come. To be honest with you, I really think in order for them to get through South Dakota, it's going to take something from the feds.
A big, beautiful bill also, what I heard on, or read somewhere, I guess, was that the carbon credits expire in 2 years. Trump was doing everything, so was...
Not totally.
Oh, not totally, okay, that's what I read, it was totally, is that we
Yeah,
put
not-
an end to any CO2 pipelines and projects,
Yeah,
things like that?
They didn't go as far as that on.
Okay.
They did that with the windmills and solar, but they didn't do it with CO2 that I read. But the big thing is, after 26, I think it is, They actually lowered the payment from $1.75 to $1, so it's about a 40% decrease. So I'm sure
It's
that-
enough that doesn't make it an attractive proposition anymore.
Yeah, yeah, they didn't go as far as we wanted to. We wanted to eliminate the 45Q.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Okay.
So, any other questions for me? Are you guys hearing much out there?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, and then I will not be available at the meeting, the first meeting in August. I'll be out of town.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, if you ever need something, you guys will get
The
about
next
it.
big update will come after that August 8th deadline, if anything, maybe I won't even.
Yeah, that's
Anything.
just to get it to
Just
the
one more
courts,
step,
so
yeah.
then the courts have to go through it. I did read that Allers had forwarded on from the court system, the briefs they got from everybody, was over 500 pages. It's not just a 20-page brief from 5 different people, so they have a lot of information that goes into it. So, okay.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Steve.
Steve.
You bet.
Metropolitan Area Planning Agency, Long Range Transportation Plan. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Another chair?
I'll just stand because I am very brief. Rachel's going to be talking most of the time. My name is Carlos Morales. I'm the Transportation Data Manager over at MAPA. MAPA serves as the administrator for Regional Planning Agency 18. For the last year, we've been working on our long-range transportation plan, covering the region of RPA 18, which covers Shelby, Harrison, the rural portion of Potawatomi and Mills County. What is this? What it's all about? Rachel will get totally into that. My big deal is we do it every 5 years. This is our 5-year update, and Rachel's going to talk about all the stuff that we did and all the work that we put into it. The report's coming out in a couple months, and we're just going out to all the county commissioners to kind of explain what we did, what we saw, and what's next. So with that, Rachel can take it away.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rachel.
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, so like Carlos was saying, we do this every 5 years, so we're coming up on the next update. I'm giving you a handout that has a lot of kind of the high points of what we're going to talk about here for you to reference later. The main point of the RTP is to go over those transportation-related planning and investment decisions. It's meant to guide those for the next 5 years especially, but it has that 20-year planning horizon. We have updated our goals from the last one. Excuse me. So that includes the addition of that land use and growth and sustainability. You'll see that that's at the bottom of those updated goals. That was mostly just to support those planned growth and economic development patterns, as well as any energy conservation efforts, as that's been a focus of the counties, and especially with just the agricultural focus and an additional focus on how these communities are developing and continuing to grow in their own communities, but also in relation to the broader urban area, to kind of the relationship there between those two regions we wanted to be able to support. On the other side of this, double-sided, we've got that timeline. You'll see we're currently working on the plan updates, so that's in progress currently right now. We'll have that draft plan, and that'll go before the RPA 18 region committee, so Charlie will be aware of that and will be able to present any updates at that point as well, should they be relevant, and then we'll be opening that for public comment for the entire region, and then in November, like Carlos was saying, that final draft will be due. So at that point, we'll also present it to the RPA 18 committee for final approval. As far as Shelby County goes, we picked out a few different highlights that are related to those updated goals that I mentioned earlier. First off, we wanted to touch on public transit and multimodal connectivity. Those are some of our transportation goals for the region. We want to make sure we're supporting SWITA with our different routes, especially within Harlan. You guys might be familiar with that, but those include general public, employment, medical transportation. We want to make sure those are still accessible to the people in Shelby County.
I sit on that board.
Yeah, yes, yes, I'm sure you're very familiar, but, and then as well as multimodal connectivity. We've recently had 2 of the other counties in RP 18, which is Mills and Harrison. They're restarting their trails boards, so there's a lot of renewed interest in the trails community within the region. So we're really supporting that effort. We also have a funding pot on the RPA 18 side that is specifically for those types of projects, trail development, different multimodal or active transportation efforts. So there are funds available for projects related to that. As far as trails boards go, they would still need to be supported by the county itself. Those couldn't be necessarily sponsored by the RPA 18 directly through those trails boards, just as an FYI for you guys. So that would require involvement from the
Are
county.
those matching funds, or how do you fund trails? We got a project currently underway
For the
here.
specific, for that specific pot of money, it would be an 80-20. So it'd be 20% local match. There are some different other funds that occasionally open up on the federal side that are 100% covered. One that recently closed was or semi-recently closed was a rural grant that was 100% federally covered. So that wouldn't require any local match. And there's been a few other grant opportunities. There's also some statewide ones. I don't know if you're familiar with SRT. That's the
State rec trails.
state recreational trails. That's also another option, but that one would also
2/3 of the way
require-
through our project, and trying to find funding to finish that, to
For
connect that
sure.
along to Portsmouth, and then
Mhm.
I'd love to see Council Bluffs Trail come up this way and connect to
Yeah.
Shelby County.
Yeah,
There's
and
a lot
we've
of good
seen
plans.
those as economic development engines, right? So the recent Trails and Economic Development put out by Iowa Bike Coalition, explaining about the, I think it was 3-to-1 or nearly 4-to-1 investment ratio. So for every $1 invested in trails, there's $4 coming back into communities. So, you know, this is an area of interest for MAPA, but also for the RPA region as well, as we try to connect all the different communities and trails together. And I think it's an engine for opportunity, I'd like to say, as it develops, 1, economic development, but 2, also promoting health and wellness, which are very needed these times. So,
Yeah, these small towns don't have trails within their communities, so they get on that and go
Right.
a mile or 2 or 3, it's available on there. and
Right.
Just go out and back, and so it's kind of
Right.
a dual purpose.
And that involves within within the cities that have those facilities available is really important. We're working on a project in Logan to connect, it's a Safe Routes to School project, to develop some better infrastructure for their kids to get to and from school. So, and just like some other regional initiatives that are also in the works when it comes to trails. So yeah, that's a huge goal of ours. So we wanted to make sure we're supporting those and making you guys aware of any opportunities that are related to that. The second one would be related to roadway safety. If you guys heard of Safe Streets and Roads for All, so that's a federal grant. We applied, MAPA applied for a project in cooperation with SWIPCO for RPA 13 and 18 for 7 different communities, and that includes Harlan. And since the county is covered by the 97 county plan, we wanted to make sure we were filling in the gaps there. So those 2 SS4A projects in coordination are basically covering all of Shelby County. And through that, the 97 county plans, they're a little bit further along the process. I'm sure Chris has been keeping you guys updated, but that plan should be getting finalized here by the end of the month. And so that'll be the countywide plan. And then for Harlan, we just kicked off those efforts back in May. And so we're currently in that outreach and data analysis phase of the project, and working on trying to get into some public engagement events within the communities, so we can get a better idea of what people are thinking, where they feel safe, where they think there might be safety concerns on the transportation network, and make sure we're including those in that data analysis. And so we can develop those projects that are prioritized. So they're the idea is that we're developing a list of prioritized projects that are high impact, low cost, so that they'll have the biggest change in the community when it comes to safety. So that's a big part of the efforts that we're doing for that safety goal. Freight movement and infrastructure strains, so we've done some look at the overall transportation network, looking at what the resilience of that network looks like, and discussed some with the community as well, and it was identified that a lot of this large agricultural equipment that's traveling at higher speeds is really causing a lot of wear and tear on the roads, and that's causing increased needs for maintenance as well as safety concerns, just because they're not really designed for those heavier equipment, and especially traveling at those speeds. So that's something that's also related to some of that safety work that we're doing, trying to figure out, okay, how can we address this? As well as just like some of those other, in addition, those other types of travel, like ATVs and golf carts have also been a concern, specifically in some of these more rural areas. So we want to keep that in mind as well. Growth patterns and land use. We did some number crunching on the census data. The county overall is projected to have a gradual population decline, nothing super serious, but Harlan is supposed to stay pretty stable as the regional employment and service center. So not a whole lot of change on the growth patterns and land use side. And then just as far as public input and local priorities go, we kind of put together these 3 big things that we were hearing from the public outreach that we did for the LRTP, and that came out to that rural road preservation and maintenance, and especially on key access routes. A lot of times that wear and tear is happening on the ones that obviously are being used the most, and so that can be the most detrimental. And additionally, working on that roadway safety, particularly on roadway intersections and curves. A lot of times, especially when it comes to freight and trucking, we've had instances in neighboring regions where trucks will go along those curves and they won't realize that they're as steep as they really are, and then they lose control or they come off the road, and those can be really detrimental and really dangerous. So those types of instances we want to make sure we're also protecting against when we address some of these safety concerns. And then that last one, transportation access for older residents and commuters, that one kind of goes back to that public transit portion. We want to make sure we're offering opportunities and making those available to residents of these communities, so that everyone has the same opportunities to get around as everyone else who might be able to drive themselves or have other transportation options. So that's kind of what we've got so far for Shelby County. Like I said, some of that context, or some of the plan updates are still in progress, so there'll be more information made available, and we'll be sure to send out the draft plan once that's approved by our BA team. So you guys will get a chance to look that over in a little bit more detail and see a lot more of some of this and how that breaks out within the plan itself. Yeah, any questions?
Got a question here.
For sure.
So, I know there's a threshold in population, and Harlan fell short of 5,000, and we had reduced that to 3,000, I believe. Is that correct?
2,500.
2,500, and now was able to add mills in Harrison County. I'd like to see smaller communities take advantage of this, and I was in a meeting that I've probably pushed that to a threshold of 1,000, because those are the community that they need of grants and things like that, roads and bridges, and they don't have access to any grants, or even just ways of finding those grants. So like a future plan, if there's a possibility to cut that threshold from 2,500 to 1,000 and give those small communities opportunity to participate.
Yeah, and we've been looking at what we could do to enhance. We at MAPA see ourselves as not just being a presence, but being an extension to local communities and being able to help. One of the challenges is staffing, obviously. Some of these smaller communities have limited staff, and so adding an additional 100-page report or adding a grant opportunity is sometimes a little bit harder to do, right? And that's where MAPA is happy to step in and help. But then the problem really becomes, how do you, it's great to write an application, it's better when you receive it, but it's the worst case scenario when you receive it because you actually have to spend it and do it. And so that's where we're meeting a couple of challenges, right? Local, smaller communities not having the support staff to be able to accomplish or complete federal aid projects. Certain roadway projects, perfectly eligible and great for federal funding. Other projects, they might present more of a burden administratively, right, to accomplish and fulfill than it would to go through local funds. So like, there's a cost and a balance between having the correct staff and being able to accomplish and just applying for grants. But we are looking at it and we're trying to encourage others to join our RPA board meetings. They're open to the public, so anyone can come over and listen to what we have to say. And then two, during our application periods in the fall, we invite other communities and smaller townships to come ask us questions. We'll take anyone's questions and walk you through what the process is and what you're getting yourself into as well, right? Like I said, I'm fully aware and understand that some federal programming really requires additional steps, whether it's right-of-way, public involvement, or other things, that you just have to be fully aware and have your eyes wide open before jumping in and applying for those federal grants.
That's a good question. Thank you.
Anything further? Appreciate having you. Thanks for your report.
Thanks, Rachel.
Chris Frederickson, Secondary Road Report.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
Okay. Couple of items first. The first one, I have a right-of-way permit for Nishnamotna Valley REC. They would like to install a new service line to a new residence on Highway M16 south of 1400 Street. Fairly straightforward. That's that one new pole, and then the rest will be laid in underground. This will all be outside of the roadway. Like I say, it will serve a new residence, so that's a good thing for the county overall too. So I have no issues with it, and I would recommend it for approval.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second item, I'll give you all. We had a request about the possibility of upgrading a small portion of a level B road. This would be west of the residence at 13900 Street. We have an upgrade policy that's been in place since 2011. Long story short, what the idea was there was funds aren't becoming any more available, and at that time it was deemed necessary to put in place some sort of a set of rules, as far as upgrading additional level B roads. That turns into more roadways to maintain perpetually and more rock going out. So that, like I said, that's been in place since 2011. Just wanted to be open and clear here, since I did have this request. I don't feel that it meets the current policy we have. Just looking around, we do have numerous residences throughout the county that sit in this exact same situation. This isn't the only one. We are out there working. We did understand, and we do understand, there was issues with the dirt road past this residence, allowing a lot of the water to come back down the hill and flood towards the bottom. So we are actively regrading, reshaping, reditching, doing what we can do to get the water off of the dirt road prior to it coming down to the rock portion. So right now we are addressing that issue. to improve that, and I don't feel that this warrants an upgrade, but I wanted to get all of your feelings and see, like I said, it was requested, so I wanted to bring it forward.
I think we all had a chance to go out and look at the area.
We've moved a lot of dirt already, so you're right, it should be better than it was. Now, it's not gonna be perfect, of course, but it should be better than it has been before.
You guys added crown, which will get the water off the road instead of coming down the middle of the road.
Right.
So I think give that a
Right.
chance. Let's give that a chance and see if it works, and if you're still having problems, maybe we can address it later.
Yeah, and like I say, just, see what we can do and improve it the best we can with the way it sits. And we are still actively working out there, so it isn't finished yet.
And you've got it rocked to their driveway.
Yes.
There's no other residences up the road, on the dirt
No,
road to,
there's nothing past.
that it would serve, so.
Like I said, there's numerous residences with the same situation. It turns right at their driveway, and then the hill up past is dirt. And it can be unfortunate, but it's just how things shook out at that time. And like I say, we'll do the best we can to shed the water and get it in the ditch, and I think that's going to make a world of difference.
This is the one we looked at Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if we're all in agreement, let's table this for a while and see how the new improvements work.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. Other than that, quick updates, the bridge crew has the bridge we've been working on Mulberry. It is decked. They are out there this morning just nailing some of the plank back down, and I think they're going to try and have the guardrail on today. So the structure itself should be ready. We need to backfill the approaches depending on the weather and the rain. I'd like to say we will be open sometime next week, or the road will be back open. So could be sooner, could be later, just depends if we have rain tomorrow and rain Thursday. So that will be a good one to have out of the way. It will be a completely legal structure again, and weight limits will be lifted. So people in that area will see a little change there. One of our other excavators is on Wildwood, that's in the eastern part of the county. Right now we are southeast of Irwin. We will be ditching up through that section, doing a little reshaping, trying to get the water down in the ditch, kind of like we've been doing numerous other places. And get it to run through the culverts. We may have a little issue this morning and have to move that excavator to do some emergency work on the western part of the county, but we'll see what happens. If we do, hopefully it will be back up there soon, and we can get that completed. Our F-16 grading project, we did start that again as of yesterday morning. We started at M16 and we are now heading west. So the grand plan for the year will be to get all the way to Highway 37. And I think that's 6 miles roughly what we're looking at. Depending on the day, where we can stop, manpower, any of that, weather, we're trying to run 2,000 to a half a mile, 2,000 feet to a half a mile a day. So we can, if the weather will hold out, we can move along, and the rain has been good. It's given us moisture to work into the base. So that is one good
Will
thing
that
about
be the
the rain.
last stretch you do for this season?
I think for this season, that will be it. We've done it, sometimes we've done it later, and then you get into the fall when it really gets dry, and then things don't.
So
We haul a lot of water.
you get it settled down for harvest?
Yeah, and that also, and get everything packed back in. We are running that pad foot roller up there, and the way it sounds at the last rains, what we did held up really well. So I think that was a worthwhile rental, and we'll look at that going forward again. So get that done, and we'll see where the year brings us. We need to go out and do more blading. It's just we don't have enough guys, so when we do projects like this, we have to pull from everybody. So we'll rotate in and out, and territories may get left for a little while, but short term only. So other than that, that's what.
Can you explain the new foreman situation you have?
Yeah, we did hire that new foreman. I think I said that last time. It'll be Chad Steinkühler. and Robert Heflin is still a road foreman. What we're doing is they will each be responsible for half of the county. Chad will be on the western side, Robert will be on the eastern side. What this will do, hopefully we can look at more issues and not have so much travel time. When you run diagonally across the county, you're talking an hour to get to corner. We try and spread our equipment out or you know, go across the county so everybody gets attention in a year. And a lot of the day is wasted for one foreman just driving between locations. Or, you know, then you may have a maintainer in the other corner all of a sudden that has an issue and you're driving back. So hopefully this will just allow better coordination that way, and coordination with employees also. Just take a little off of one plate. And that, like I've talked, the superintendent position went away, so we didn't add anybody into management, we just reorganized a little bit, so.
Good. Should work good.
I hope so. Well, we're 2 weeks into it, so. So far, it's going.
All right.
You meet with these guys, like, once a day, once a week?
Yeah, the foremen are always in the morning,
Okay.
so. See what everybody has going, and that's across everybody, the road foreman, the bridge foreman, and the shop foreman.
They come in a half hour for everybody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that way we all have an idea of what's happening
Take action on it.
Right.
between everybody, because you know, if something happens, the road foreman may be called to do something else or help somebody else out in a different area of the department also. So
Communication is important, you know.
it is,
Yeah.
it is, and sometimes it could be just a little matter, but it could help in the end that somebody else knows what's going on. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, thanks guys.
Mr. Todd Valeen, Chamber report.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Big day for Shelby County today.
Yeah.
We've got
Double our population.
a few thousand people pouring into town, so it's gonna be fun and exciting. So, it looks like the weather's gonna hold off too. So. I just have some things to update, starting with ribbon cuttings. This Friday at 10 a.m. will be over at Concern. They have their new building all set up and they're all in there and comfortable, so we're ready to have a ribbon cutting, so we'll do that at 10 o'clock on Friday. And then what used to be the Tivoli Inn over in Elkhorn is now called the Hoogie Inn and Suites. It's kind of a combination Airbnb and hotel.
Pronounce that again for me.
I think it's pronounced Hoogie.
Or I've only seen it written.
Yeah. And so that'll be next Friday at 10 a.m. And so I'm actually looking forward to going over and seeing what they've got set up. And it's kind of a combination hotel and Airbnb. That's an interesting thing. So it'll be kind of fun to go check out and see what they're doing. Actually, starting today, registrations begin on the Shelby County Backpack Program for Kids. It's going to be at SCCO this year. They need to go and register. Families will be given one backpack per child listed on the form. In those backpacks will also be some Shelby County Chamber of Commerce gift certificates to help the parents buy school supplies for the kids. So, again, so then the St. Joseph's Parish Picnic is this Saturday on the 19th over in Erling. We'll have food, bags, tournaments, a lot going on over there. They'll have 50-50 raffle, and of course all the restaurants will be open in Erling, as well as food down at the event. So that starts again July, from noon on Saturday, July 19th. The two medical centers blood analysis screening program is going on. You do need to make an appointment. Call 755-4288 from 8 to 4. There will be no Mondays on this. In Harlan, it'll be at the Merton Medical Lab Department, and it will run August 12th through the 29th, 6:45 to 10:45 a.m. And again, no Mondays. And then Iowa Western's going to run some leadership workshops, Foundations of Effective Leadership. That's going to be kind of like a half-day program from 8:30 to noon. That'll be on Wednesday, September 10th, and then also on Wednesday, October 29th. The cost for the class is $129. The other big thing happening this week is Roar into Harlan this Thursday. We're going to have a donut eating contest take place, so that'll be a lot of fun. I believe our city administrator is participating in that, and Bryce is participating
Been
too.
fasting.
You're gonna
So-
practice right now?
Yeah. So that'll be at 7:30. It'll be a fun event, and it is a fundraiser for the Grandma B's playground. So that'll be great. Another cool thing on Friday, July 18th, from 10 to 11, they're going to have story time in the Prairie over at the Museum of Danish America, and the Elkhorn Public Librarian will be over there to read the stories to the folks who show up. Then on Saturday, July 19th, another fundraiser, the Humdingers Live in Concert here in Harlan. Doors will open at 5. It's free will donations with all the proceeds going towards Grandma B's Playground. You can give the city a call at 755-5137 for more information. And then finally, on Thursday, July 24th, there's going to be a throwback Thor's Day taking place down in Elkhorn. It's going to be a progressive dinner. So you head on down to, first course will be a mini scoreboard and beverages at the Museum of Danish America from 4:30 to 6. The second course will be a frikadeller whipped potatoes at the North Horse from 5 to 7. And then the third course will be Kringle Man Danish layer cake cups at the Danish Windmill. And it's actually not too bad. It's $20 for the meal, and you get, three stops for the progressive meal. And you need to call the North Horse at 764-6646 to get your reservations. But
And the food is delicious.
the food is always delicious. I'm telling you, it's like it's being able to travel without traveling. All you gotta do is go to Elkhorn. You get some amazing food when you go down there. You definitely do. So other than that, we have our big all members meeting today at 11:30, and we'll be talking about our FY26 plans and how we're going to really look at promoting not only Chamber member businesses, but it's going to be really a push through social media. So for example, I'll take all of the Chamber member restaurants, I'll put them together in a group promotion, but then we'll push that outside of Shelby County. To try to promote people to come in, check us out, check out our food. Our food is, everybody that comes here says our food is fantastic, and the gentleman who does the travels around and, what's it called?
Caliban.
Yeah, the Gallivant, the Iowa Gallivant. He loves Shelby County. He loves it every time he comes here. He can't believe the food that we have here, and I'm like, well, neither can I, because.
We'll get a combination of Danish food and German food.
There we go, exactly. So, other than that, that's it for the chamber today.
Thank you, Todd.
All right, thanks.
Supervisors committee reports. Mike?
Off schedule this last couple of weeks, didn't really have much of consequence to report.
Charlie?
Well, you already heard what we did in MAPA. I was in MAPA meeting last Wednesday. So that's pretty much what we did last week.
I've got a couple things that Conservation Board has approved at the last meeting. The parks have been kind of slow this year, regionally everywhere. So we kind of came up with a promotion to try to get people out in the parks. We're gonna, in the month of August, and this is not Prairie Rose, this is the county parks. If you stay one night, you get the second night free. So we're doing that through the whole month of August. And again, that's not at Prairie Rose, that's just the county parks. So another thing we passed, we've been getting a lot of requests from the equestrian people in the county for places to ride horses on trails. And the board determined our park trails, they're all dirt, and they just can't sustain the hoof traffic. And so we're steering them away from there, but we really have the perfect spot. North of Irwin, it's called the Upper Nish Habitat Area. It's 2 miles of old abandoned railroad right-of-way, and it's still got a rock base to it. It's flat, and it continuously goes 2 miles. So we have decided to open this up to equestrian traffic. Not yet, we need to get signage done and do a few other things, but we'll make a big announcement about it. But we've reached out to the horse people, give them a place to ride by doing this, and I think it'll work pretty well, so. That is my updates. Department heads, we have any?
I'd just like to say something.
Okay, sure.
Share with you guys. First, I'd like to say thank you for your in-kind donation for the demolition for the park, for Dream Playground. And with your support and the city, we're able to finalize our grant. It's a CAT grant, Community Attraction and Tourism. And it's for $412,000. So it's in the final stage. They're gonna meet on the 18th, and then we'll find out after that. So I'd just like to say thank you for your support.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jarvis. Thanks. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.